Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be covering UWMC, or as previously known, GHIV. I'll cover basically everything you need to know about this one here, but if you would like to watch my previous videos, you can find it in the description below. However, this is the first video as UWMC, so I'll make it as detailed as possible while still being under a good amount of time. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe and leave your notifications on, and let's jump right into this one. So UWMC. This company here is UWM, United Wholesale Mortgage. I imagine that they try to get UWM, but that is actually a taken ticker. So UWMC. It started at a price of $11.90, and I had a lot of questions about it. Where was GHIV? Now I'm not gonna lie, it kind of took me off a little bit that we didn't get a data from the new ticker, but rather just a vote, and then the next couple of days you had the new ticker. And there was supposed to be an expected move, but I'll explain exactly how I see it moving in the future, because this one is textbook SPAC. So, moving on, first, we're going to cover a little bit about who they are and what they do. So, I think nothing is better than just skimming quickly through their presentation. I've done that before. Just remember Matt Ishbia, because he is an important figure in this one, and I'll explain why later. He's the president and a CEO of the company. And their main formula is a faster, easier, and cheaper mortgage. The UWM is the largest wholesale originator with dominant market position. The company started in 1986 and Matt joined in 2003. They're the number 2 mortgage originator in the US and the number 1 wholesale originator in the US. They originated $54 billion on third quarter for annualized run rate of $216 billion in production volume. They have around 30,000 loan officers. They're best-in-class technology, serving 1,005 technology professionals. So their pillars is their people, their greatest assets, their services, everyone's responsibility. We're relationship driven for pillar number 3. We're thumb pointers, not finger pointers. Pillar number 5, continuous improvements, and number 6 is fun and friendship. And basically that kind of covers it. There's not much really going on here. The loan application itself goes to indexing, setup, conditioning, process assist, VVOE, change of circumstances, disclosure, reviewing, and closing. And one of the latest things they've actually promised, it's not even here, it is in the latest news. And they really went on and promised a massive deal in general. So basically, if they were not to be able to basically get the appraisal done within a specific period of time, they will give you a refund. So right here. This is a challenge with new homes, things with appraisals. So appraisals will be completed in 10 business days, or 50% of the cost will be credited back. With the appraisal promise, UWM approves AMC guarantee that appraisal will be completed with 10 business days, or 50% of the appraisal costs will be credited back to the consumer. The promise applies to every brokered loan and is another way that UWM is committed for getting brokers, borrowers, and real estate agents on closing the table faster. I'm not gonna lie, that myself, the chance of, them even messing up once, and that being me, and then they cover 50% of my house, I would definitely go and give it business. But at least that's me, and that definitely will attract a lot of people to UWM for the 10 business days guaranteed appraisal day, or you get 50% of the transaction, or the appraisal cost, which is something insane. It's a really good promise, and I think it is definitely bullish. So I already gone with their 5 perks, but go ahead. This mortgage specialist, personal loan shopper, one-on-one attention, licensed experts, and time saving. Definitely with the time saving, I do recognize that. Now, after the merger itself, here is the allocation of basically the percentage of shares. So quickly looking into this one here, we see Matt Ishbia and Jeff Ishbia has around 93.6% of all the shares. Now here in number 3 it says basically Matt Ishbia and Jeff Ishbia may be deemed beneficially owned Class A and D, and they're held by SFS Corp. So in general, I don't think it's actually broken down because they both have 93.6%. But Matt Ishbia, if you do recall, he is the CEO and the president of UWM, and he's holding 93.6%, around 1.5 billion shares currently. And then the rest, around 10.2, is for Gore Sponsors IV LLC. Now the numbers don't really make sense in general, but that's because these are Class A's and Class D's, and 93.6, I believe, is added as well from Class D's as well. But in general, Matt Ishbia has the majority of the shares, which is owner and the president, and then Gores has a percentage of that. And so, moving on as well, the exercise price is $11.50. So keep that in mind, because that will be basically one of the price points a lot of traders will have in mind. And then moving onwards, I just want to show you quickly onto Rocket's performance. And you get to see that, well, when Rocket went an IPO, it had a little bit of a drop and then a rush. But again, this is an IPO. This wasn't a reverse SPAC. But that kind of starts accumulating a little bit down below. And the idea is, well, how is the real estate market doing? And it depends who you ask. A lot of people, who own homes will be very, very bullish about real estate. Others who are looking to buy homes, they're looking for a pullback in the market, because effectively, we as humans, we all want shelter, home, and it really depends who you ask. For me, I think real estate will continue to rise continuously, even though I technically don't fully own my house, but still I do believe that. And in general, I think that the movement of the real estate market will adjust with inflation. And so your stocks here everyone will still need houses. The only big issue would be something similar to 2007 or 2008 housing crisis, which is not far off, by the way. If you think about how real estates get their job done, a lot of the times it ain't that far off. And if you have been watching my channel, which please make sure you actually subscribe. It does really help my channel a lot. You might not recognize it, but every subscriber counts, and I count them. So this here is a strategy that I put it up. I'm not the one who made it, but I give credit to whoever did. It was somewhere on Google when I was searching up, but actually it does go on point. You'll notice that initial run up of on the letter of intent, you get that run up, it starts going down a little, and then further increase in price closer to the merger date, and then starts tanking until it basically finds itself a new bottom. Now, the thing here on the right, here's where things get a little bit choppy. Sometimes you don't even get that jump. And I'll explain exactly what I think in the trading analysis or technical analysis. So make sure you subscribe and leave notifications on. If you would like to join our Discord, you'll find it in the description below. It's a chat-free. Basically, it's just chatting. There's no bumping, etc. So, if you recognize this with that, you can easily see a little bit of resemblance. In general, this was your first initial jump, and then it's basically dropped down to 1069, and then you had the massive jump. Now, I did expect for it to continue on a little, but unfortunately, it just continued to tank and slide. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. So, here your green line, you're seeing your yellow and your blue. Those are important points. And you're getting to see it is, in fact, in a trading action zone between these two. I think that's a 30 EMA that's a 10 SMA and a 30 EMA on there. Oh, and so basically our expectations is that, well, until 1125, it still has a chance to actually bounce back. Now, your 200 SMA is currently sitting down at 1076. Above there, it's still bullish. So it's still bullish, but there is possibility of a jump back. Now, your RSI, this is very important. You get to see it's actually really dropping down. It still hasn't been sold yet. And so my expectations for this one, based on my previous SPAC history, is that it will have to accumulate. And at some point, I would like to see it a bit more accumulating at perhaps a level of 1075. And from there on, you start thinking about a long term. Now, you can play bounce, but think about long term, because this one here is probably a good way to go for a long term. Now, my next thing that I want to cover here quickly is perhaps the supports and resistances, as we usually do. And so the first thing that I want to cover here is the supports and resistances. So there's current resistance sits at right about over here, 1197, and then another one at 1237, another one 1258, another one around 1279, 1290, 1316, and then 1387. Significant supports is sitting at 1136. That's a very strong support, and then 1120, and then going down all the way to 1072. That's a really strong support, followed by 1060. Below there, you're looking down at 1018 around here. So over here, we get to see the Fibonacci retracements. We get to see that there is different levels. The current support sits at, well, around the 1138 to 1137. You definitely, that is your major Fibonacci retracement support. Below there, 1080. Below there, 987. Significant resistances, 1184, 1230, 1296, and all the way to 1381. Again, this is Fibonacci retracements. Now, comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Definitely think it probably will attempt to bounce at this level. If not, it will probably be down to 1069. So basically what I'm trying to do here is level in my entries, because I'm going in for the long haul. And so my first entries would probably be see if it bounces off the 1135, and then my second entry would be somewhere around the 1069, and if that fails, it would be around the 1016. And if it breaks the $10, then I'll continue adding on, because I definitely think this one has a lot of future, and real estate is a no-brainer. Now, what do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.